Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session today. So, today's session is going to be on respiratory stuff related to allergies. Okay. So, sometimes allergies show up as asthma, and sometimes allergies show up as eczema. And of course, there are many other manifestations of allergies, including allergic rhinitis. So, we'll talk a little bit about some of those. Okay. So, before we do that, let's start with an invocation. Let's close our eyes. Connect the tongue to your palate. Inhale and exhale. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, we thank you for your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, divine love, mercy, inner healing, physical healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help and protection, for illumination, abundance, and prosperity. We thank you. Let's do the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. Let's be aware of our breath. Okay, so talking about allergies. So one of the things with allergies is, if you just think about it, allergies is kind of like a negative response of our body to something in the environment that is not necessarily harmful, right? So some people have pollen allergies, or some people have certain food allergies. The point is that those allergens, if we may call them that, are not really harmful to the body, yet the body reacts in a manner where it can make us really really sick, because it goes into defense mode. It's like, oh my god, like that kind of stuff. Not, oh my god, can you help me? Not that, oh my god. One of the things with allergy based asthma is that it's triggered by, let's say, pollen or dust or something like that. Now, of course, we need to realize that we can't really get rid of pollen, and we can't really change everything else in the environment, right? So what has to change is our immune system, our body's response to that particular allergen, if we may call it that. So like I said, some people have allergies to dust, some people have allergies to food. Of course, some people may say they're allergic to certain people. So that also we will keep in mind. But let's also be aware that when we are allergic to certain people, what is it that is ticking us off? So we need to have that awareness. It's like, okay, I don't like this person's presence, but why? Okay, so those things will help us. Now, one of the things that, again, Louise Hay says in her book Heal Your Body about allergies, very interesting. She says, who are you allergic to? And she says that it's the mental pattern is perhaps denying your own power. So what's our own power? So when we take a breath in, like when we breathe in and we breathe out, is that what keeps us alive? So can we live without food? Can we live without I don't know, other things in life, but can we live without breathing? No, right? So the point is that when we can't breathe, we are basically not allowing our body to live. So the mental pattern that she says we can replace it with is this. It says, the world is safe and friendly. I am safe. I am at peace with life. So what I understand from this is that when we feel threatened, that's when the allergies begin to show up. So the thing with allergies is that, like we said, it's a response of our body to something that is not dangerous. So let's just think about it. Like, if we do sort of a reflection on this, and if we think of when do we actually end up with allergies? Or people who we know who may be allergic, when do they actually have the manifestation of the allergy? What causes that? So once we are aware of that, what we can understand is that yes, there may be some external factors, but a lot of factors are internal. It's when we feel we can't deal with what's happening. So let's say if it's a weather change or whether it's a food item, sometimes what happens is that when we're younger, a particular food item gets associated with a negative memory. So again, you can read more about this. Of course, there are many psychological, journals available. We are just talking about it more from a practical, as in like, whatever is relevant for the purpose of pranic healing. So one of the things is that is important is just to be aware that an allergy is caused by a reaction to something. So the question is, are we generally reactive people? Do we generally get upset about little things? And so that's a reflection, because when I have clients who have asthma, especially allergy based, then it's important to explore whether something happened at that time when they ate a particular item or when the weather was a certain way. Did something happen? Then what happens is that the brain or the body or the consciousness of the body starts to associate the allergy with that food item. And then whenever that food item comes, the body has an allergic reaction. Although the reaction may or may not necessarily be to that food item, it may be to the event that happened at that time when they happen to also consume this. So, for example, if let's say somebody's allergic to milk, so maybe at some point they had milk and at that same time they heard some upsetting news. So, what will happen is that the upsetting news will get connected to the milk, and then every time they have milk they will have this upset reaction. So that's again just an example. The idea is that if we have somebody like that, then we have to help them. So one of the beauties with pranic healing is that when we do healing for somebody, we also do healing for their mental patterns. So in this case, for example, I'm just going to take a hint from what Louise Hay says. She says the world is safe and friendly, which means that this person is beginning to feel unsafe. So when do we feel unsafe? We feel unsafe when we feel insecure about something. So again, in pranic healing, we have healing for things like separation anxiety, which is something that happens to a baby when they're very young and when they are separated from their parents or their mother or their caregiver, or even like a brother or a sister, and they don't see them around and then they start to get upset. So that's what causes what we call separation anxiety. Of course, there are many levels of separation anxiety, and I'm not saying that every time there is a bad news and a food item it'll get connected, but we also need to be aware that our brains basically are wired in a certain way. So what happens is that once one item begins to get associated with a negative event, then the brain kind of makes that a pattern. And then you'll see with a lot of people, they'll begin to have allergies to more things and more things and more things and more things. So what happens is obviously it makes life dysfunctional. You can't go anywhere, you can't eat everywhere. If the weather changes, we get nervous, things like that. So what can we do? We can increase our immunity, which we do very beautifully with pranic healing. We've solved a lot of cases of asthma and allergies by using pranic healing. Sometimes also people feel that pranic healing takes very long and things like that. Yes, pranic healing is not exactly like taking an inhaler if you have asthma, but one thing is for sure that if we take pranic healing and we also take medical treatment for a certain period of time, what will happen is that the medicine will help with the immediate control, and the pranic healing will gradually regenerate the lungs and the immune system. So over a period of time, what will happen is medication will be less and less required. So it's a choice. I know. I know it's a personal choice. I mean, you have to decide what works. Yeah, for some people they have allergies more during winter. Some people have more allergies in the monsoons. So different people have different types of allergies. The point is that why should the weather affect us, right? Because we are the soul, and yes, we have a body, but why should that body determine what the soul is going to do at any point, right? So if the body is kept healthy, if the emotions are kept healthy, if the thoughts are kept healthy, then we can manifest our purpose as a soul. right? So for again, for those of us who have done pranic healing, I encourage you to do allergy healing for one person at least. And for those of us who haven't learned, you're welcome. We are going to be having workshops. You're welcome to join our workshops or anywhere else to a closest center near you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. The affirmation basically related to allergies and asthma is about safety, about being friendly, and about being safe. So, one of the other things that I've noticed in asthmatics is that they also tend to be irritable, unfriendly kind of people. So, one of the changes that we can perhaps make, and please don't it's just a request, like if you know someone who's asthmatic, please don't go and like tell them these things, because these are more things that one needs to hear oneself and to reflect about it. It's not a value judgment on anybody, it's just a mental pattern of observation. Again, my observation is very, what should I say, amateur. It's just based on my limited experience, so let's just keep all those things in perspective. So the important thing is not to react so much to anything. It's also not a good idea to tell people who have allergies that it's all in your mind. It's not incorrect that it's in the mind, but at the same time, just knowing that it's in my mind may or may not help me to overcome that allergy. So let's take a more supportive view. Let's help people either with healing or with meditation or with just generally projecting love to them. If you have somebody who you think will not take healing or will not, may not be interested in meditation, that's okay. That's fine. They have a right to be the way they are. And so what we'll do is we'll just bless them with loving energy so that the right solution, whatever is right for them, finds its way to them. Okay. Okay. So I also wanted to mention one more thing, that when we have allergies, sometimes we think that allergies is only going to result in asthma or in itching. You also need to be aware of a couple of other things, which is that sometimes people have loose bowel movements. So in case we are having a loose bowel movement, every time we eat or soon after we eat, then it's important to try to understand what is it that is causing that kind of allergy. There is also problems in the tongue. Some people have, burning in the tongue, or the tongue kind of becomes rough. So that's another response, allergic response of the body. Fatigue is another important response of the body. Sometimes, if people are just feeling tired all the time, no matter what they do, perhaps it is because of something that they're eating or something in their environment which they are allergic to. Again, of course, exploring and figuring out what it is important at the physical level. But again, with pranic healing, we can make your immune system so much stronger that, regardless of what it is, at least you have the solution. Okay. Okay. Let's raise our hands in blessing position. Let's be aware of our crown, our heart, and our hands. Let's be aware of the energy flowing through us. We are all instruments of peace, of divine energy. Let us bless the entire planet Earth with freedom from the COVID-19 virus and the associated fears, the associated financial issues, emotional issues, relationship issues. May the Buddha Kuan Yin, with her divine compassionate light, extract, externalize, and raise to higher vibrations all negativity associated with the coronavirus. Inhale and exhale. Feel the energy flowing out from our hands. We are just channels, so we are receiving energy from the divine source, and we are, as energy transformers, we are transforming it and sending it to Mother Earth. Let's also bless the financial targets of every person on the group, relationship targets, health targets, and spiritual targets. Let's also be aware of the role of feeling safe and of being friendly in the process of manifesting our goals. So let's say we want to manifest a certain amount of money, but we're not being very friendly with the client, or we're not being very friendly with the workers who have to do the work, then perhaps we need to look at it again. Let's also bless our relationship target. Let's be aware of the role of safety and friendliness in relationships. Even if we have to reprimand someone, we can always do it with humor. make it funny. And our health targets, we can be friendly towards our organs, our lungs. So instead of saying, oh my God, my stomach, instead of that, we can say, Lord God, thank you for helping my stomach to heal. Let's be aware of our spiritual targets. Let's take a friendly approach to ourselves, our body, our mind. Let's be gentle, calm, and kind as much as possible. Remember, being gentle and kind does not mean being taken for a ride. To understand more, it's a good idea to do Arhatic yoga. Anyway, okay, let's bless our homes, our workplace, our neighborhood. Visualize the shape of the city. Bless our city. Visualize the shape of the state. Bless the state that we live in. Bless the visualize the shape of the country that we live in, the continent, and the whole planet Earth. We thank you. Okay, once we're done, let's massage our face, our neck, scalp, arms, chest, the back, the kidneys. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you soon. I hope you enjoyed the session. So again, the idea is to help us be aware of mental patterns, which can help us solve emotional issues, and by that solve our physical issues as well. Because we all have an energy body that surrounds our physical body, and what we do in pranic healing is that we make changes to the energy body, which eventually manifests as healing for the physical body. So that's it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you soon. Bye.